Salut à tous. Une fois de plus dans ce numéro, nous vous proposons via visioconférence une rencontre autour de l'art évoluant dans le nouveau normal. Cette fois, nous rencontrons l'artiste et curatrice Zahira Mouti, membre fondatrice de The Arts, qui évolue depuis une bonne dizaine d'années dans le domaine artistique à Dubaï. Elle a organisé pas moins de 85 expos à travers le monde en tant que curatrice. Elle évolue également comme artiste. C'est parti, suivez la ligne. Artiste, mais également entrepreneur dans le domaine de l'art, la Mauricienne Zahira Mouti évolue depuis son pied-à-terre à Dubaï et enchaîne les projets artistiques à travers le monde. Ces projets, dont des expos et des activités artistiques, sont souvent à caractère social et contribuent à la responsabilisation et à l'autonomisation des couches vulnérables de la société et aussi des femmes. Zahira Mouti est aussi l'une des fondatrices de The Arts, une compagnie qui vise à encadrer les artistes en leur proposant divers services et formations. Si le terrain d'action de Zahira Mouti et de The Arts reste souvent Dubaï et le Moyen-Orient, The Arts aura aussi organisé en 2019 la première édition de la MIAF ou Mauritius International Art Fair, organisée au Codan Art Center et ses alentours. Une initiative visant à placer Maurice sur la carte mondiale des marchés artistiques. La deuxième édition de cette manifestation, prévue pour 2020, aura hélas heurté le mur implacable de la Covid-19. Depuis la relance post-Covid à Dubaï, Zahira Mouti a aussi proposé sa toute dernière exposition solo à l'Alliance française intitulée A Glimmer of Hope. Rencontre ce soir avec Zahira Mouti pour parler de l'impact de la Covid-19 sur l'art, la technologie et la relance en cours. Zahira Mouti, thank you very much for your time and for this session. First off, I'd like to talk about your experience of being an artist and evolving in the Dubai art scene. So, what is it like? What was it like during normal times, and what is it like during COVID times?
Well, as you know, Dubai's art scene has been really boosted prior to the COVID. I mean, Dubai itself is a hub for art and culture with the vision of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Maktoum. And I have been so blessed to be there and to curate a lot of exhibition. It was very dynamic, and I have been blessed to meet artists from across the world. We were very active actually. We were very blessed to be able to do the 4th edition of Art Connects Women. It was right before the lockdown in Dubai last March in 2019, where we had welcome 100 female artists from 100 different countries in Dubai. You name it, artists coming from Africa, Europe, Oceania, America, Middle East, Asia. And it was really a nice initiative. And that was, comme on dit, la cerise sur le gâteau. And after this, we had a lockdown after a few days. And people, the whole art scene, as well as all industry, was very much impacted. I think the COVID-19 has affected the whole world and pushed into a global recession that impacted deeply our social fabric, economy, professional, as well as cultural scene. The pandemic has taught us a lot of things indeed. Despite the global ramification, art has survived. Art is resilient. It is still a connector, a universal language, and it brings comfort to our heart, mind, body, and soul, especially during this uncertain time.
And I would like to come to that because obviously I have been talking to many artists, and well, the economic impact is very real, because when people are not meeting, when you cannot reach your audience, you cannot reach art connectors. I mean, that is a really difficult time. Do you think that overall the impact is mostly negative, or do you think that there are new opportunities emerging, whether they're digital or in a different way? But it, is it a time of, reinvention?
Absolutely, totally agree. I think I prefer to look into opportunities rather than, keeps complaining or just, sharing our sadness and so on. So in terms of opportunity, the world has explored, experienced and embraced technology. The digitalization of the whole world has transformed the art industry. Even during the pandemic and the lockdown, me as an artist, I was very creative, proactive and productive during this time, because usually I am here and there, always busy curating exhibition, but that pandemic has allowed me to celebrate my me time. So I spend a lot of time on myself. As you said, I reconnect with myself. I rechecked and enhance my artistic skills as an artist. But at the same time, as I mentioned earlier, with the digitalization of the art industry, now, I can sit here in my house or on the beach and I can see Art Basel in Miami. Now we can have this great conversation. You're sitting in Mauritius, I'm here in Dubai. So I think this is the benefit, and it has really transformed and bring a lot of value. Also, myself, I have curated a lot of virtual exhibition, the 360s. By the way, for the World Environmental Day, I'm curating an art exhibition, bringing international artists. None of them are based in Dubai. By the way, we have one Mauritian, Vixin Doyal, and we have artists from Canada, America, Australia, South Africa, and other part of the world. These artists, they are working with plastic bottles. So the theme of the exhibition is art is a catalyst for social change. And we are celebrating the Environmental Day with this exhibition. I think also being able to meet people from across the world, it was really beneficial. I myself have organized a lot of webinars, like 2-month webinar we've been organizing in collaboration with the Economic Development Board of Mauritius, where we had a series of topics, and we were connecting from people and experts from across the world. I just named a few of the topics that we cover. It was art during COVID pandemic. And one of my favorite was the diaspora inside. And I think none of us had did it before, where we had Mauritian artists sitting in France, in Germany, South Africa, Malaysia, and myself in Dubai. And we were talking with Mr. Nanda Narayana from the EDB, sharing our different experience. And this is something that I would like to bring in on board. I mean, if we didn't have COVID, we will not be able to connect with our diaspora, our artist diaspora. Also, some other topic that we discussed that time was the global initiative. Again, how it can bring and help Mauritius to see what are the global initiatives that is happening from across the world. And another topic that was very important as well is how to develop a synergy between artists, art collectors, art dealers, and galleries in this digital world. But I think that COVID has pushed us to think creatively out of the box.
Yes, and I'd like to stay on this theme, of COVID bringing connectedness, but also redefining what we now see as the digital horizon, the digital frontier. Do you think that now more than ever, it was the case before, but now even more so, that the future of art is digital because, it has been catalyzed by this new normal? Do you think the virtual platforms are favorable for the classic art collector art market, or do you think it's a very different clientele that is emerging, a different way of consuming art, of buying art, of trading art? Or do you think there will be two parallel systems in the future when COVID, stabilizes, etc.?
If I will talk as an artist, as you know, the NFT is making a lot of noise now in Dubai and also other part of the world. You know, the NFT is the non-fungible token, which is a unit data that's stored on a blockchain and that certifies a digital asset to be unique and therefore not interchangeable. For me as an artist, I still think that art needs to be seen. You need to feel it. You need to breathe the emotions. And I would say a digital piece would never, ever replace an original piece. I don't think the digital artwork will replace physical artwork, but I strongly believe that there is a niche market, an emerging market that is coming up and that is emerging for this digital art. I mean, I have an artist with us. He works with voice tone. He creates art with voice tone. And I know her, she participated. I was the curator for World Art Dubai before. So I met her there. She sold her piece for a couple of dollars and she joined the NFT and her piece now worth $100,000, sorry. So $100,000. So to tell you, I mean, what are the value? I mean, it's crazy, right? How the world is just moving so fast, but we still, I'm not sure if also, I think there needs to be an education, like we need to educate the collectors as well, the art collectors and the way people buy art. Because for me, also, I bought a couple of pieces as an art collector. I would feel, for me to buy something, I would love to see the connection that attracted me to the piece. And I would like to see and discuss with the artist to know who is this artist, what makes her paint this and that. So I think there is two different things and they cannot be parallel. And I think, but the digitalization of the industry is emerging very fast. And I think we need to embrace, I'm still learning on it and doing some research. We had a conference a couple of weeks back here in Dubai. I couldn't attend, but there is a lot of things happening. And I think this is something that we need to follow the trend and to know more about it.
I will come back to classical forms of art, because we're talking of NFTs, and I'm very interested in this. It is a very complicated thing to grasp and understand, obviously, if you're coming from the point of view of an artist, because there's things like, you need to understand blockchain. There are things like gas fees. There are particular platforms. There are traps. There is a lot to understand. Coming to you maybe as an artist, but also as part of Z Arts, an organization that promotes art, that promotes artists. How do you go about, for example, pushing an artist in this particular direction? Let's say you want to embrace this. How is this marketed? How do you encadrer? How do you say?
Yeah.
Empower. Empower. How do you accompany an artist to understand this well? And also, there's a lot of uncertainty, but at the same time, there
Absolutely.
are works that have been sold for $70 million, I think. So there you go. Z Arts. How do you embrace this?
Well, I think we have Z Arts, we have an online gallery, which was there for a couple of years now. So we were selling art, but we were featuring art digitally, but then the buyer, they received the original piece. Compared to the NFT, and so this one is digital. So even the buyer, they receive a digital piece. To be honest, as a curator, I'm still learning as well, same like you on it, because there is lots to explore and to discuss. But this is the trend, and I think it's very important to know more, because as a curator, we need to educate ourselves first, and then we can spread it around the artists. I mean, artists are very, they have their own way, their own approach to things. And I will not push an artist until I don't have much information about it myself as a curator. I need to feel confident about this platform, and then I can say, yes, here you go. So I'm still not so sure, with lots of uncertainty, because you never know. I mean, you can buy a piece and after 3 years, oops, the market goes down, and then, it's a lot of investment. I mean, art is an investment in self. We have a program called Artist Empowerment Program in the Arts, where we help artists and empower artists on different topics, like, for example, how they build their portfolio, how they speak about their art, how they write the bio, how they position themselves online as an artist, because, there is Instagram, LinkedIn, and so on. And also because artists, they are creative, they create things, but those soft skills, they don't necessarily have them. So in the arts, we help them to boost these skills and to help them. I think one of the topics that we will include eventually is how to join the NFT platform, and how to, it's knowledge is always powerful. The more you have, the more you're more comfortable about it, and then you make the decision.
But there was a very important activity that you did in Mauritius, which was the first edition of the Mauritian International Art Fair. I understand that there were also plans for a second edition, but then COVID happened. So yes, so what is the view of the arts, and maybe of yourself as an artist, regarding MIAF? Is it bound to change? Is this formula not viable anymore in the new normal, that, the new global economy as it is now? How are you looking at it? Is it going to happen again? Is it going to happen in a different form? How do you see it?
Well, indeed. So MIAF is an annual art initiative to position Mauritius as an art hub in the region, but as well as in Africa and globally eventually. When we started MIAF, when we started the first edition back in 2019, so we had 124 international artists who came down to Mauritius during the first edition. I am a fan of MIAF myself. As the curator, I think I saw there is a lot of opportunities in Mauritius to develop and democratize law. I think it's very important to have MIAF. I mean, we launched it the first edition. MIAF is an annual international art fair. But then, unfortunately, when COVID happened last year, in collaboration with EDB Mauritius, we launched this series of webinars, which was under the banner Art Connect Us. But we hope to bring back MIAF again this year, and we were expected to do it in June, and then June now moved, so we are targeting hopefully in September. The initial idea of MIAF was to bring international artists to Mauritius, as well as to network and to develop this intercultural dialogue, artistic dialogue with local artists and regional artists. But now with the travel restriction, it might change a little bit. Our strategy might change, because, people are not traveling for 2 years. And I think as well, Mauritius need to size this as an opportunity. Here you go. Our idea was we want to make Mauritius a cultural destination where people will travel. And I think if we open and if we do MIAF in September, we will have lots of potential tourists that would love to attend and to visit. So in line with the same idea to develop the cultural tourism, we were planning to come to present as well a conference under the theme Art and Finance. So we've been approaching Deloitte already. Deloitte is on board. We've been approaching one of the famous art collectors in the world, Mr. Simon Depury. We have also our partner in Monaco, Rosemont Art Advisory, as well as we're thinking to bring Christie's or Sotheby's during these conferences. Obviously, the idea of the conference is to bring in those experts to help and to make art an asset. Like our target will be private sectors, bankers, policymakers, as well as artists and art lovers. So this is the plan parallel to MIAF. So we are coming up with a conference, as well as we want to add, we were talking earlier about the NFT. So we will add this element, how we will bring the NFT in Mauritius.
There are different levels of the art market, but I think any artist's desire is to be able to, get into that very elite level of, the big art collectors. Do you think this high end of the art market is still very much alive in the new global economy, or do you think nowadays artists, especially emerging artists, do they have to be more modest in their expectations and make their way in a more sustained? I know it's a difficult question, but I'm just curious about it.
Yes, I think with the global recession, now every sector has been impacted. And to be realistic, I was the first artist doing my seventh solo exhibition right after the lockdown. And the response that I had when I did my solo, it was in l'Alliance Française in August 2020. I had lots of visitors. Lots of people came to the shows because people were tired. People, had enough. And I had more people turn up during the solo exhibition rather than the new normal. From there, I can see there has been an acceleration in people attending shows and exhibition because lots of events has been cancelled, and people in the art industry, they seized this as an opportunity, especially professional collectors, because they thought, this is the time I'm going to invest in art. This is the time I'm going to discover emerging artists. Because, when you go to art fair, you always go and meet those famous artists who has already a name and their price is super duper, exorbitant. So this is the time that I'm going to do my research on new artists and provide opportunity for those emerging artists. So we need to look at it as an advantage and an opportunity. So I've met a few art collectors who love my work as an artist. And as a curator, I think for a message for all the artists watching me tonight, I think you need to size this as an opportunity to reposition yourself. Now online is a free tool. You can be on Facebook, on Instagram. You don't need to be on, you will not be able to replace, social media cannot replace an art gallery, but this is a free tools that you can make maximum use of to reach out those art collectors and show, hey, here I am, I'm an artist, this is my work, this is what I do you like or not? Or, it's a free platform that we can make use of. And we have a lot of time now because, we are not working, physically, spending time in traveling and so on. So these are the time that you can invest and educate yourself how to make maximum use of social media because it will add value to you. And you can sit in Mauritius, you can reach out collectors in France, in New York, in Brazil, in every part of the world. So this is the time that we need to size and make maximum use of.
Nous poursuivons cette passionnante conversation avec Zahira Mouti dans notre prochaine édition. En attendant, voici comme d'habitude ce lien avec Code QR qui vous amène directement à la version virtuelle de sa dernière exposition solo et celui-ci qui vous amène sur le site The Arts. Nous en parlerons davantage la prochaine fois. Clap de fin pour cet épisode. À bientôt pour d'autres explorations autour de l'art et de la relance artistique dans le nouveau normal. Bon courage à vous dans vos défis et combats, puisse la perspective artistique vous apporter un peu de couleur et d'inspiration dans ce moment où il devient crucial et même stratégique de voir les choses autrement. Gardez le moral et tenez bien la ligne.